Most people think job interviews are won through perfect answers, fancy adjectives, or memorizing frameworks. They go in hoping they'll think of it on the spot and then freeze, ramble, or just sound like everyone else. But the candidates who consistently win, especially in competitive industries like gaming and tech, well, they do something very different. If there's one thing hiring managers never forget, it's a great story. Across hundreds of interviews, the pattern is always the same. Prepared candidates look lucky, and unprepared candidates, they look average. Luck, in career terms, is simply preparation meeting opportunity. So when opportunity shows up, the people who practice how to introduce themselves, how to tell their story, and how to position their value, they look like the chosen ones. But they're not chosen. They are prepared. The 7 questions you already know are coming. My recruiter friends have always laughed when candidates say the interview was hard, because you already know 80% of what's coming. Here are the questions that show up in nearly every interview. Tell me about yourself. This is where 90% of candidates fail. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Why do you want to work here? Tell me about a conflict or challenge and how you handled it. What is your greatest professional achievement? Why are you leaving your current role? Do you have any questions for us? You cannot simply wing these. You cannot ad-lib your way into the top 1% of candidates. But here's the good news. If you can predict the questions, you can design the answers. And question number 1, that is your unfair advantage. Why most people bomb question number 1? That first question, tell us about yourself, is where most people stumble. They answer with resume speak. I'm hardworking, detail-oriented, a great team player, and I'm really passionate about games. And the hiring manager's brain instantly checks out because they've heard that exact same sentence 47 times this week. Heck, maybe 6 times today. Those are descriptions, not evidence. Those are labels, and certainly not stories. Because hiring managers don't hire traits. They hire demonstrated patterns. They hire people who have achieved. So instead of adjectives, you need an origin story. The power of an origin story. Think about your favorite characters in games, movies, or books. You don't remember them because of their skills. You remember them because of their backstory. That defining moment that made them who they are. Batman's tragic origin. Tony Stark's cave. Frodo inheriting the ring. Now these aren't just details. They're the emotional foundation that makes everything else matter. And your career needs the same thing. An origin story is a short, personal, memorable anecdote that reveals what shaped you, what drives you, how you behave under pressure or curiosity, and why you belong in this role. Because a great origin story builds rapport in seconds, shows your personality without trying, and anchors key traits through narrative, instead of claiming. This is what turns an interview into a conversation between peers. If the interviewer likes you and remembers you, they will advocate for you when you're not in the room. My personal example. Imagine I'm applying for a head of leadership role in a game studio. When they ask, so, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Here's something I might say. Before I ever spoke English, I spoke video games. I was that kid who couldn't follow every word adults were saying, but I could walk into an arcade or sit beside a classmate with a controller and be instantly part of a shared world. Games became my first real language. Belonging, teamwork, curiosity, and problem solving without needing perfect words. Games didn't just entertain me. They shaped my identity. They helped me make friends, build confidence, and eventually even choose my university. I actually picked the one with the best gaming community, and they actually snuck me into the computer lab to play games. I knew that where people play together, they also learn to think together. And that pattern followed me my entire career. From esports to partnerships to leadership and now coaching. Whether I was working with teams, executives, or creators, I realized something important. Games are not just a product. They are a bridge between people. And the most successful teams don't just ship features. They cultivate trust, shared purpose, and psychological safety. The same things that made gaming feel like a home to me as a kid. And that's why I'm here. I'm applying for this role because I know firsthand how powerful games are. My work is rooted in helping teams communicate better, collaborate without ego, and unlock a shared identity. The same way video games once unlocked belonging for me. Now, notice what this example does. It's personal and vulnerable. It shows rather than tells. It aligns my identity with the mission. It reinforces long-term behavioral patterns. And it makes the interviewer feel something. They don't just hear your skills. They understand your story and your why. That, my friends, is what they remember when they're comparing you to 5 other qualified candidates. Chemistry before competency. They lean back instead of forward. They start smiling. They reveal more about the company. They become conversational. And at that point, the interview is no longer assessment. It becomes alignment. And alignment gets you hired faster than being perfect. Why this is almost a guarantee. Remember what I said at the beginning. This almost guarantees you pass the interview. Here's why it's almost. You still need to be qualified. If you're applying to be a senior game designer, but you've never shipped a game, no origin story will save you. But if you're already in the interview room, you're qualified enough. They simply wouldn't waste an hour with you if your resume didn't check all the boxes. Your career infrastructure, not just interview prep. You might interview once this year, or you might interview 5 times because your studio got acquired, your project got canceled, your funding dried up. Either way, this preparation never expires. Your origin story, you'll use it in interviews, networking calls, conference introductions, LinkedIn conversations, cold outreach messages, internal promotion discussions. You're building a narrative foundation that travels with you, regardless of company, title, or market conditions. In an industry as volatile as gaming, that's not just smart, that's survival. Your action steps, the 2-hour challenge. 2 hours to change how every future interview goes. And here is the game plan. Level 1, draft your origin story. 45 minutes. Your origin story isn't your resume in paragraph form. It's the story that explains why you do what you do. Think about the moment, experience, or pattern that led you to this career. Write a 2 to 3 minute story that answers, tell me about yourself. Make it personal, not professional. Include what shaped you, what drives you, why you're here, and practice it out loud 3 times. This matters. Level 2, build your proof library. 45 minutes. Most people prepare for interviews by hoping they'll think of good examples on the spot. That is a gamble. Instead, you want a library of proof. 3 solid stories you can pull from whenever you need to demonstrate your excellence. Identify your top 3 strengths. For each strength, write one specific story that proves it. Use the SPEAR format. Situation, problem, execution, achievement, and results. These become your go-to examples for behavioral questions. Level 3, Reverse interview them. 30 minutes. Interviews aren't one-way interrogations. The best candidates ask questions that show they're already thinking like an insider. They're not just trying to get hired. When you ask strategic questions, you shift from applicant mode to consultant mode. That shift changes how they see you. Prepare 2 to 3 thoughtful questions that show strategic thinking. Avoid questions like, what's the culture like? Ask instead, what does success look like in this role in the first 90 days? Or, what's the biggest challenge this team is facing right now? Your goal is simple. Don't just answer questions. Create connection and an emotional anchor. That is how interviews are won. Final takeaway. When you show up with a rehearsed origin story, not memorized but practiced, the interviewer experiences you as someone who knows who they are, understands how to communicate value, has clarity about what they bring, and most importantly, feels like someone they'd actually enjoy working with. If you do that, you won't just pass interviews. You will become the obvious hire. And in an industry where layoffs, acquisitions, and studio closures are the norm, being the obvious hire isn't just a career strategy. It's career insurance. Want to see how to answer interview questions with the Challenge Choice Change framework? Well, watch this video next, and please drop a comment if you have questions and subscribe for more videos. I will see you in the next video, and good hunting.